Bismillahirrahmanirrahim and Assalamu alaikum. Wishing you all a very good morning. I hope all of you are good and doing well at your home. I am also good. So, students, I know one thing that is arising in your mind is that what we are going to learn today. We are going to start from chapter number 11, Fundamental Concepts of Geometry. And as you know that this is our lecture number 32 from geometry section, and who I am? I am your math teacher, Miss Falak Nas. So let's quickly go through the table of contents or the topics that we are going to cover today. Number one is parallel lines. Our topic number one is parallel lines. Then we will discuss intersecting lines. Then number three topic is Playfair's axiom. And the last one are alternate angles, corresponding angles, and allied angles. So these are the topics that we are going to cover in our today's lecture. And after that, our chapter number 11, Fundamental Concepts of Geometry, has been completed. So let's start. So the first I'm going to tell you the definition of parallel lines. But before that, let's consider this figure. In this figure, what are you seeing here? Here you have two parallel lines. This is line number one, okay, that we call line AB, and this is line CD. Okay, this is your line CD. And as you can see, both the two lines lie in a single plane. Okay, these lines are lie in a plane. And also you can see here the distance between the two lines is same. Okay. So what is the definition of parallel lines? Coplanar lines. Okay. Coplanar. Now what does it mean by coplanar lines? Coplanar lines are those lines which lie on a single plane or one plane. Just suppose, as you can see here, this is a box, and inside this box these two lines lie. So what we will say that these lines are coplanar lines. Okay. So the coplanar lines which do not intersect, the condition is that which do not intersect are called parallel lines. Means, as you can see here, the distance between these two lines is same. And when you will extend these two lines in the left side or in the right side or in the left side, they will never intersect each other at any point, or you can say they will never cross each other at any point. So we will say that these two lines are parallel lines. Okay. The sign for parallelism is this one. Okay. The two straight lines. This is the symbol for parallelism. And in the above figure, we can say that the line AB, which is your line AB, this one. This is your line AB, is parallel to line CD. Okay, how will you read it? You will read it like this: AB is parallel to CD, means two lines are parallel to each other. What does it mean? Means they do not intersect each other at any point. Now let's move on to the topic number 2, that is intersecting lines. So what are intersecting lines? Coplanar lines. Again, what type of lines? Coplanar means the lines that lie on one plane. Okay. So if you have any two coplanar lines, but which do intersect are called intersecting lines. For this, let's consider this figure. In this figure, what you have? In this figure, the first line is P and Q, and the second line is S and R. And as you can see here, these two lines lie inside a box. So you will see these lines lie inside on one plane. Okay, and as you can see, these lines are intersecting at these points. Okay, so what you will say that PQ, which is PQ? This one, okay? PQ and SR, okay? This one, this PQ and SR are intersecting lines, okay? Why intersecting? Because they are crossing each other at one point. Okay, now let's consider this one. Okay, please tell me, is it parallel lines or intersecting lines? As you can see here, the distance between the two lines is not same, okay? And if you will extend these lines further, so they will intersect each other at one point. So what does it mean? We will say that the line EF, which is line EF, this one, this line EF and the line GH, this line, okay? They are also intersecting lines, okay? Here, as you can see, these are not intersecting each other, okay? But when you will further extend this line, so they will intersect at one point. So you will say these lines are also intersecting lines, okay? So what are parallel and intersecting lines? Parallel lines are those that do not intersect, and intersecting lines are those that do intersect, okay? Now, let's move on to the topic number 3, that is Playfair's axiom. Now, this is the new topic for all of you, that is Playfair's axiom. So now let's check out what does it mean. So according to this axiom, but first of all, you should know Playfair. Who is Playfair? Basically, Playfair is a scientist who present this axiom. So that's why we will call it Playfair's axiom. Okay, now according to this axiom, two intersecting lines. How many lines? Two. Intersecting. The lines should be intersecting with each other. Two intersecting lines cannot be parallel to a third line. Means if you have any two intersecting lines, they cannot be parallel to the third line. Let's consider this figure. In this figure, as you can see, what you have here. First of all, you have this line, that is AB, okay? And then you have CD. Now this AB and CD basically are parallel lines, okay? Now, if I will draw another one intersecting line that crosses your line AB, this one, this is the intersecting line PQ that crosses A, or that intersect AB, okay, at point R. Okay, so if I am going to extend this PQ further, so this line will also intersect CD at point S. Okay, so what does it mean? That if you have any two intersecting lines, which intersecting lines are here? This one and this one, PQ and AB. If they are intersecting each other, so they cannot be parallel to this third line, that is CD. It will also intersect CD at point S. So this is the axiom that was presented by a scientist called Playfair, and that's why we will say it's the Playfair's axiom. Okay, now why we are learning this Playfair's axiom? Because in Playfair axioms, multiple angles can be formed. Now let's check out what type of angles can be formed in this Playfair's axiom. Okay, please keep it in your mind, this thing, line AB, line CD, PQ, RS. Now look at here, what these postulates tell you. Number one, if two coplanar lines, if you have any two coplanar lines, that is AB and CD, okay? How many coplanar lines? AB and CD are intersected by a transversal, LM. Now let's check out what does it mean. First of all, this is your first line, that is AB, and then this is your second line, that is CD. Now these are two coplanar lines, and now it is intersected by another line that we called as transversal. Okay, now this line is basically your line L and M, and we will say that it is a transversal. So please keep it in your mind that these two are parallel lines, and the intersecting line is called as a transversal, okay, in the Playfair's axiom. In the Playfair axiom, the transversal means the intersecting line, okay, that intersect your two parallel lines, okay. Now, this transversal basically intersect the first line AB at point P, okay, this is the intersecting point, okay. So this transversal first intersect AB at point P, as well as it also intersect the second line, that is CD at point Q. Okay. Then in this way, four angles. How many angles? Four angles are formed at P and four angles at Q. Okay, how? Now look at here. This is the point P. So how many angles can be formed here? Number one, then two, then three, and then four. Okay, so at point P, four angles can be formed. Similarly, at point Q, four angles can be formed as well. Just suppose this will become your angle number 5. Then this will be your angle number 6. This will be your angle number 7, and this will be your angle number 8. Okay. So what you see here is that in a Playfair axioms, total number of angles are 8. Okay, so please keep it in your mind that in a Playfair axioms, total number of angles are 8, or you can say that there are 8 angles in a Playfair axioms. Okay, now in the next slides, I am going to tell you that what these angles were called. Okay, now let's look at here. Interior and exterior angles. First of all, you should know what will be the interior and exterior angles in the Playfair axiom. Interior means the angles that lie inside the parallel lines. Okay, and exterior means the angles that lie outside the parallel lines. Let's consider this previous axiom again, and as you can see the points, this is your point A, B, C, D, L, M, and the intersecting point P and Q. Okay, now in this axiom, first of all, you should know what will be your interior angles. So what I'm telling you that interior angles are those that will lie inside the parallel line. So what are the parallel lines here? AB and CD. So AB and CD are two parallel lines, and the angles that lie inside these parallel lines will become interior angles. So what will be the interior angles are here? Angle 3, angle 4, angle 5 and angle 6 are called interior angles of the Playfair axiom. Now which one? This is your angle number 3, okay, as compared to the previous axiom. Okay, this will be your angle number 4, then angle number 5, and the last one is angle number 6. As you can see here, these angles lie inside the parallel lines. Okay, these angles lie inside the parallel lines. So we will say that these angles are interior angles. Okay, now what will be the exterior angles? Obviously, that lie outside the parallel lines. So what are the exterior angles? Angle number 1, angle number 2, 7 and 8 are known as exterior angles. Okay, now let's check out what is your angle number 1, 2, 7 and 8. As you can see in the previous axiom, this was your angle number 1. This was your angle number 2. Okay, this was your angle number 7 and this will be your angle number 8. So the angles that lie outside the parallel lines will be considered as exterior angles, and the angles which lie inside the parallel lines will be considered as interior angles. Okay. Now let's move on to the last topic, that are alternate angles, allied angles and corresponding angles. Okay, now with respect to this interior and exterior angles, we have some more types of angles in this Playfair axiom. Okay, now let's check it out. Number 1 is alternate angles. Now, what will be the alternate angles in this Playfair axiom? Okay, the Playfair axiom will remain same. This was your first axiom, and now, as you remember that this was your line AB, this was your line CD, and this is known as what? This is known as the transversal. Please keep it in your mind that the intersecting line inside the Playfair axiom is called as transversal. Okay, now we are going to find out what will be the alternate angles in this Playfair axiom, and as you know that the angles that lie inside the parallel lines will be interior angles, and those that lie outside the parallel lines will be exterior angles. Okay, now let's consider angle 4 and angle 6 first. Now what are angle 4 and angle 6? This one, this is angle 4 and this is your angle number 6. Okay, now angle number 4 and angle number 6, so what you can say that both are interior angles, both are interior angles because they lie inside the parallel line. So 4 and 6 are interior angles and both are on the opposite sides of the transversal. As you can see, this is your transversal and these two angles lie opposite to each other. Means one is here, so another one is here. So if such kind of angles are called as alternate angles. Okay, please keep it in your mind. If you are going to find out alternate angles, so what angles we are going to consider? You are going to consider the angles that are interior. Okay, the first condition is that the angles should be interior, and the second condition is that they should lie opposite to each other on the transversal. Okay, so alternate angles, I am repeating, for alternate angles you have two conditions. Number one, they should be interior and they should lie opposite to each other on the transversal. Okay, now if you can see here, and I'm going to ask you, is there any other alternate angle? Yes, the answer is yes. So what are they? This one. Similarly, angle 3 and 5. Angle 3 and 5. Now, which one is angle 3 and 5? This one. This is angle 3, that is the interior one. And the another one is this one, that is angle 5. And both of them are like opposite side of the transversal. So you will say that angle 3 and angle 5 form another pair of alternate angles. So what you have learned here is that if you have any Playfair axiom, so in a Playfair axiom, there are two pairs of alternate angles, two pairs of opposite angles. First one is this pair, okay, and the second one is this pair. I am repeating again, please keep it in your mind. Please do not get confused. What will be alternate angles? On the both are interior angles first and both are on the opposite sides of the transversal. So alternate angles here are this 4 and 6 and then this 3 and 5. Okay, so these type of angles are called alternate angles. Now the next one is corresponding angles. So what are corresponding angles? This was your axiom, and you know these are the parallel lines and this is the transversal, and you can see there are 8 angles can be formed in a Playfair axiom. So what will be the corresponding angles in this Playfair axiom? Now let's consider this one. This is your angle 4 and this is your angle 8. Okay, this is your angle 4 and this is your angle 8. So the condition for corresponding angle is that one of them is interior, one should be interior, just like this angle 4. This angle 4 is basically interior angle and other should be exterior. So the first condition for corresponding angle is that one should be interior and one should be exterior. The second condition is that they are on the same side of the transversal. Same side. This is the same side. Okay. Opposite side will be this one. Okay. So this is the same side. So for corresponding angle, the first condition is that one will be interior and other will be exterior. They should be on the same side of the transversal and they are not adjacent. Why they are not adjacent? Because they do not have a common vertex. The vertex for this angle is this one and the vertex of angle 4 is this one. So they are not adjacent as well. So there are 3 conditions for corresponding angles. Number 1 is one should be interior, so other should be exterior. They should lie on same side of transversal and they are not adjacent as well. Okay. Now in this way, how many corresponding angles or how many pairs of corresponding angles can be formed here? The question is how many corresponding angles can be formed in this Playfair axiom? And the answer is there are basically 4 pairs of corresponding angles in this axiom. Now which one? As you can see, 3 and 7, which is your angle 3 and 7. This is your angle 3, that is interior, okay? And this is your angle 7, that is exterior, and as well as one is interior, one is exterior, and they lie on the same side of the transversal. So we will say that these two angles are also corresponding. Now another pair of corresponding angle is this one, angle 1 and angle 5. Now as you can see, this one is exterior and this angle 5 is interior. Okay, angle 1 is exterior and angle 5 is interior, and both of them lie on the same side of transversal. So you will see that angle 1 and angle 5 are also corresponding angles. The last and corresponding angles are this one, this 2 and this 6. Why 2 and 6? Because 2 is exterior and 6 is interior, and both of them lie on the same side of the transversal. So you can say that 2 and 6 are also form pair of corresponding angles. So what you have learned here is that there are four pairs. How many pairs? Four pairs. This is pair number 1, that is 4 and 8. This is pair number 2, this is pair number 3, and this is pair number 4. So in a Playfair axiom, there are four pairs of corresponding angles. Okay. Now move on to the next one, the last one, which is allied angles. Okay, now what are allied angles? Let's consider this angle. This is your angle number 4, which is interior, and this is your angle number 5, which is also interior. But what is the difference between this allied and vertical or alternate angle? As you can see here, these are interior angle, but they also lie on the same side of the transversal. So allied angles are those that are interior as well as they lie on the same side of the transversal. So the first condition for interior angle is that number 1, both are interior angles, okay, and both are on the same side of the transversal. How many conditions are there for allied angles? Number 1, they should be interior. As you can see, 4 and 5 are interior angles here, and they lie on the same side of the transversal. So you will say that these two angles are allied angles, okay. Similarly, angle 3. This is angle 3 and this is angle number 6. They are also interior angles and they are also lie on the same side of the transversal. So we will say that 3 and 6 is another pair of allied angles. So how many pair of allied angles are there in a Playfair axiom? So the answer is 2. How many Playfair allied angles? How many pair of allied angles in a Playfair axiom? 2. Okay, this one, the first one is 4 and 5 and the second one is 3 and 6. And in this figure, if I'm going to ask you what will be the alternate angles, so what will be the alternate one? This one and this one. Okay, so this is the topic for our today's lecture: allied angle, corresponding angles and alternate angles. Now we are going to start the exercise number 11.6. As you know, in the previous lecture we have completed our exercise number 11.5 and now we are going to start exercise number 11.6. Now what you have to do in 11.6 is that you have a question: in the following figure write. What you have to do in the following figure write. What you have to write? Number 1 is all the pairs of alternate angle. Now which figure? This figure. Okay, as you can see, this, which figure is this? This is basically a Playfair axiom. Okay, now in this figure, you have to form all the pairs of alternate angles. Then you will form all the pairs of corresponding angles. Then you will form all the pairs of allied angle, and the last one is all the pairs of vertical angles as well. Okay, so first we are going to form the pair of alternate angle. So as you can see, which will be the alternate angles, or what are the conditions for alternate angles? The first condition for alternate angles is that both of them are interior. So which interior angles are here? Angle S, angle R, angle T and angle U are interior angles. And the second condition for alternate angles is both of them lie on the opposite side of the transversal. Okay, now which one will be the opposite side of the transversal? This one. So you will say that this angle S and U are alternate, and then this angle R and T are alternate. So how will you write it? You will write it down in this way. First, you will write down the heading of alternate angles, and then you will write it down in this way, like angle S means you have to draw the symbol of angle here. Okay, so what you will say that the first pair of alternate angle is angle S and U, and the second pair of alternate angle is angle R and T. And as you can know, as you know that there are only two pairs of alternate angles in the Playfair axiom. Okay, so first pair is S and U and the second pair is R and T. Now move on to the next one, that is corresponding angles. And if you remember, there are four pairs. How many pairs? Four pairs of corresponding angles in the Playfair axiom. So, which will be? Number one, the first condition is that one is interior, so other is exterior, or the first is exterior, so the another is should be interior, okay, and both should be lie on the same side of the transversal. So, which will be first? Okay, now as you can see, this one is exterior, so this one is exterior, so what will be the interior for this one? S and T. But you have to decide which one you are going to make the pair with angle S. Obviously you are not going to take S as a corresponding angle because they do not lie on the same side, okay, and also they are adjacent. The condition for corresponding is this should not be adjacent, and P and S is adjacent. So you are not going to make the pair of P and S. Basically, you are going to make the pair of P with T. Okay. So angle P and T are corresponding angles. The second pair for corresponding angles will be this Q and this U. Okay. The third pair for corresponding angle will be this S and this W. And the last pair for corresponding angle will be this R and V. One should be interior, so other should be exterior, and both should be lie on the same side of the transversal. And the third most important condition is that they are not adjacent. So this is the way to write corresponding angles. Okay, the first pair is this one, which was the first pair is this one, that is angle P and angle T. Then the second pair is angle Q and angle U, that is this one. Third pair is angle S and angle W, and the last pair is angle R and angle V. Okay, so this is the way to write corresponding angles. Now in the third part we have to write all the pairs of allied angles. Now, what will be allied angles? According to the conditions, first condition is that both should be interior. So how many interior angles are here? Four. This S, T, R and U. And now you have to decide which pair will be the allied angle. So the second condition for allied angle is that both should be lie on the same side of the transversal. So you will say that this angle S and this angle T, okay, these are allied one, and similarly this R and U are also allied angles. So you will write it down in your copy just like this, allied angle. First you will write down the heading of allied angles, and then you will write that angle S and angle T. The first pair of allied angle is angle S and angle T, and the second pair of allied angle is angle R and angle V, angle R and angle U. Okay. Now the last one is this vertical angles, and I have already explained this topic in very detail during your in-person classes. So you know what will be the vertical angles are here. Can anyone tell me? Yes. Now vertical angles, if you will look in this side, in this intersecting point, so how many vertical angle pairs can be formed here? Two. This P and R, this Q and S. Similarly, on this side, this T and V, and this U and W. So this is very simple. So in addition, what you have to write? You have to write vertical angles as well. So similarly, you will write it down in this way, that angle P and R and angle Q and S are vertical pairs of angle, and angle T and V and angle U and W are also vertical angles as well, or you can say pair of vertical angles. So as you can see from here that there are two pairs of alternate angles and also two pairs of allied angles. Similarly, you have four pairs of corresponding angles and four pairs of vertical angles as well. Okay, so if I'm going to ask you during the class that how many pairs of alternate angles or corresponding angles or allied angles or vertical angles can be formed in a Playfair axiom, so you should be able to give the answer. Okay, now this is the end of the lecture. Now I'm going to just quickly recall the topic that I have discussed today. Recognize and name the following pair of angles. Means what you have to do, you simply have to recognize the pair of angles according to the given figure. Now let's consider this figure. This is your Playfair axiom, and this angle and this angle. What you will call alternate, allied, corresponding or vertical. So first condition, as you can see here, both are interior and both lie on the opposite side of the transversal. So what you will say? This will be alternate angles. Okay. Now let's consider this figure. Now in this figure, as you can see, this is the interior angle and this is your exterior angle. And both of them lie on the same side of the transversal. So what you will say that these are corresponding angles. Okay, now let's consider this one. Okay, so the angles are interior, both the angles are interior and on the same side of the transversal. So what you will call? You will call that these angles are allied angles. Okay, and then the last one is this one, and the very simple. Yes, very easy, very simple, vertical angles. Okay, so this is the way to recognize the different pairs of angles. This is alternate angles, these are corresponding angles, these are allied angles, and this one is vertical angles. Okay, now that's the end of the lecture. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you the important points in your book. So these are the important points and you have to mark it in your book. So you have to open your book right now and open page number 162 and mark the definition of parallel lines and intersecting lines. On page number 62 at the bottom of the page, you can see the definition of the parallel lines. Okay, the sign for parallelism is this one. And then on the next page, that is page number 163, you can see the definition of intersecting lines. Okay, and below the definition of intersecting line, there is the definition of Playfair axiom, and this is your Playfair axiom, and this is the explanation that I have given in this lecture. Then you have alternate angles, corresponding angles, and allied angles. So the conditions that you have learned today is also written in your book on page number 164. Okay, on page number 164. So this one, angle 4 and angle 6, both are interior angles, both are on the same side of our angles. They are called alternate angles. So this is the conditions for alternate angles. These are the conditions for corresponding angles, and these are the conditions for allied angles. Okay, so these are the important points that should be highlighted in your book, and when you are coming on Monday or if you are coming on Wednesday, so these points should be highlighted in your book, and well as you have to memorize these points as well. Okay. Now class, if you have any questions, so what you have to do, simply you will write it down in your book or in your notebook, and when you are going to come on Monday or on Wednesday, so you can ask the same question, ask that questions, okay? But first of all, you should learn or should memorize the conditions for alternate, allied, and corresponding angles, as well as you should learn the definitions of parallel and intersecting lines. So when you are coming on Monday or Wednesday, I'm going to ask you these things, okay? As well as if you have any questions, so you can ask in the in-person class, okay? So I'm going to end my lecture here, and at the end I would like to say thank you for listening, and take care. Allah Hafiz.